held remotely via video conference. So we ask the public to continually check the town's website for updates and new information. The secretary is out, so I will call the roll. Vice Chair Dennis Finnerty.
Present.
John Blaney is absent. John Zuccarelli.
Present.
Robin Long.
Present.
Florian Burke.
Present.
Chair is here, so we have a quorum. Can we please join in for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have four public hearings this evening, and we have applicants and members of the public standing by a Zoom webinar, which is being conducted by CTV. Charles Certain will be muting and holding the speakers in a virtual waiting room until it's their time to give testimony before the board. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking should state their name and address for the record. A further reminder that despite the Zoom environment, all comments should be directed to the board and not to other participants. A link to participate in this meeting via Zoom can be found on the town's website. This meeting is also being live streamed on the town's website on the town clerk's meeting portal. If you're having difficulty accessing the meeting, please visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instruction link. Public comments can be made via Zoom, by email, or by uploading them to the town clerk's portal on the planning board's page. You'll see on that page a button that you can click to upload your comments. Board members who must recuse themselves from any application will state so on the record and will be removed from the meeting until the end of the hearing. Unless otherwise stated at the end of each hearing, these applications will remain open for written comments from the applicant and the public for 30 days. Those comments can be made by email, uploading your comments to the town board clerk's portal or under the planning board's meeting page. Additionally, in accordance with the governor's orders, these hearings will be recorded and transcribed and will be made available to the public. So moving into the first application is Savannah Cottage. Is there a notice?
I have notice, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Matt, are you going to read this into the record, please?
Yep. Charles, can you let Carl in also? Okay, notice of pre-submission conference. Please take notice that in accordance with the governor's executive order number 202.1, a pre-submission conference will be held in the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, January 14th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the pre-submission application entitled Savannah Cottage LLC. This proposal is for the demolition of an existing single-family house and the construction of a two-story, 4,130 square foot building for special trade contractor use with associated parking on a 19,800 square foot parcel located within the HB zoning district, the WQI high priority area, and a New York State archaeologically sensitive area, situate at 28 Shrubland Road, Hamlet of Tuckahoe, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-177-1-29. A transcript of said hearing will be provided at a later date, and the public will have the opportunity to see and hear the meeting live and to provide
Matthew, you don't have to reiterate that.
Oh, I don't? Okay. Okay. In the event of a cancellation of the meeting, this application without further notice will be heard at the next planning board meeting. Jackie LaFaro, chairperson by order of the planning board, town of Southampton, Philip Keith, secretary.
Thank you. Is Carl here? Carl Benincasa?
Yes.
How are you? We don't, oh, there you are. Yeah.
Hi, Jinx.
Hi.
Good to see you all.
See you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Do you want to give us a very quick overview? Because we've
Sure.
Yeah.
This lot is currently improved with a 1,040 square foot single family home and a 318 square foot detached garage. As this is HB, those are non-conforming uses. Were granted via a certificate of occupancy dated December 14th, 1964. The applicant's plan is to demolish the non-conforming use and replace it with a conforming use to facilitate the operations of a special trade contractor, both for storage and work facilities, as well as an accessory office use. The building complies with all zoning requirements. It does benefit from the existing non-conforming front yard setback. In the HB, it's supposed to be 50 feet. Here, we're dealing with a 41.5 foot, 41.5, excuse me, I just wanted to confirm that.
That's right, Carl, 41.
Yeah, 41.5, sorry, it's very small type. 41.5 foot linear foot front yard setback and a 4-foot side yard setback. We are, again, taking advantage of that 41.5 foot front yard setback, and we are actually increasing conformity with respect to the side yard setback, asking for 10 feet. It complies in all other areas. The parking analysis provides for 9 spaces with 6 employees for a total of 15 spaces. 3 of them are in the garage. You can see on the south side of the building, that hand's hovering. To accommodate, you'll notice the design of the building is done in contemplation of the fact that it is in a transitional zone. Across the street is an R40 zoning district. So it does have a residential feel to it. And you'll notice there's sort of an interesting roof line on the eastern side. That's to accommodate pyramid. As you know, because we're doing this extensive work, we'll have to upgrade septic to the IA system. And on top of that, we'll actually be reducing flow from 300 gallons existing flow to 202 gallons as we're getting to that residential use. This is important to consider as we are in very close proximity to the bay.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Is there anyone in the public that wishes to speak, Charles? Anybody there?
There are no hands.
No hands, okay. And no questions from the board? Okay, that's a clear presentation, Carl. So we have, I'll call a vote to close with a 30-day written comment period. By Dennis, second by Gloria, and all in favor.
Aye.
Abstentions, 5 in favor, 2 absent. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, you guys, have a good night.
Okay, number 2 is the old stables at Spionk. That's Anthony. And do we have notice?
We have proper notice, Madam Chair.
Great. Anthony, do you want to read that into the record?
Sure. And you can see that on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Please take notice that in accordance with the governor's executive order number 202.1, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, January 14th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the preliminary application entitled Old Stables at Spionk. The application proposes a 7-lot planned residential development cluster subdivision with 1.75 acres of open space representing 25% of the area of the lot of a 7-acre parcel currently improved with single-family residence and accessory structures situated within the CR40 zoning district and New York State Archaeological Sensitive Area located at 85 North Phillips Road, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-350-3-88. I don't have to read that transcript part.
No?
Okay. By order of the planning board of the town of Southampton, Philip Keats, secretary. And I
Okay.
believe Sean Barron is.
Yeah. Sean? Charles, can you find Sean Barron?
He's in.
He's in, okay. We're not seeing him.
He's there. He's there now.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
there you are. Okay, good. Yes,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Sean. Do you want to give us a brief overview of the application, please?
Sure. Sean Barron, 124 Pleasure Drive, Riverhead, New York. You've kind of seen this property a few times before, but this is a pretty straightforward 7-lot planned residential district subdivision. 7 reduced size lots from the normal acre zoning, and then about, as Anthony said, 25% open space there in the back that maybe will or maybe not tie in with some additional open space in the future. But that's about it.
Just to add to the planning board, this is the 6-lot yield, and then the 7th lot represents the affordable unit that'll be, constructed as part of the subdivision.
Was there a cluster submitted
Yeah, well, this is it right here. The 25% open spaces in the back.
with a cluster?
Yep, and it matches up with the open space over here.
And this is not a potential reverter because that would go right through the open space, right?
Right. This will just be a road dedicated to the town, I'm presuming.
If you'll recall, Jackie, we've had a series of maps along here, and the intent was to create this corridor.
Oh, the green corridor.
Along, yeah,
Yeah.
we've had several maps along that whole stretch. So this is one of the links in the puzzle.
Yeah, and it's sort of, here's, if you look at the little key map, so up here to the north, there's open space all along the rear. So that's right, Dennis. We've been trying to create a corridor.
Right, a green corridor. Okay. Any questions from anybody on the board? Okay, so is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak?
I think so. Get his attention here. Okay, Stephen. I'm gonna unshare.
Okay,
Hello?
yes.
Oh.
Mr. Giuffre. Okay, it's all yours.
He's muted.
20 feet to the north of this subdevelopment.
Can you
And
say that again?
my property is 120 feet approximately to the north of this subdivision.
Just give us your name, please.
Steve Giuffre, 91 North Phillips.
Okay,
I just a little concerned that my property is 120 feet to the north of this property, and it's pre-existing commercial, and I just didn't see any sort of a buffer or anything. I just don't want to have a problem with the new neighbors once the development is built. So I just wanted you guys to possibly take that into consideration.
we typically try to pay attention to buffers to adjoining property, so we'll take that into consideation.
Okay, that's all I ask. Thank you very much.
That's a good point. I mean, one of the things we could consider is just an advisory covenant that there may be adjacent properties containing pre-existing non-residential uses, just put property owners on notice.
Yeah, good idea.
I have no problem with the development. I just don't want to have a problem.
Yeah,
with the
no,
neighbors.
that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys.
Okay,
You're welcome.
is there anyone else, Charles?
I see no other hands.
Okay, anybody on the board? Any other questions? Okay. Can I have a motion to close with a 30-day written comment period by Dennis, second by Zuccarelli, all in favor?
Aye.
All 5 in favor, 2 absent. Thank you for coming. Number 3, Rolling Ridge, that's Jackie Fenlon. Do we have notice?
We have proper notice, Madam Chair.
Thanks.
And Charles, if you could let Brant Rayner into. Please take notice that in accordance with the Governor's Executive Order 202.1, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, January 14th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the covenant amendment application filed with a subdivision entitled Rolling Ridge Estates Section 2, Lot 11. This request is to eliminate the future road reverter and allow future building setbacks to be measured from the southern property boundary rather than the required 60-foot front yard setback being measured from the said road reverter, and to shift and amend the required 25-foot wide conservation buffer to the southern lot boundary and provide an approximately 30-foot wide conservation buffer that allows for the driveway to extend from its present location, all as it affects Lot 11, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-173-2-18, located at 54 Squires Boulevard in the hamlet of Hampton Bays. In the event of a cancellation of this meeting, this application without further notice will be heard at the next planning board meeting. Jackie LaFaro, chairperson. By order of the planning board of the town of Southampton, Philip Keith, secretary.
Thanks, Jackie. Brand, you're on.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you again. Brant Reiner, 50 Squires Boulevard, Hampton Bays, New York, 11946. I'm here on behalf of the owners of my neighboring property, which is 54 Squires Boulevard. Tonight, I'm hoping that we can finalize what I had started in 2018, which is to finalize the amendment of covenants associated with this subdivision to eliminate the road reverter completely from these two lots that are impacted by it. So the screen that Jackie has up right now shows the red line, which outlines my neighboring property, which is 54 Squires Boulevard. That's lot 11 of this subdivision. And that flagpole, which is sort of arced, adjoins the flagpole on my property. And that 25-foot flagpole makes up the second half of the road reverter that we were working on abandoning in 2018. So if you recall, I know it's a while ago, but in 2018, I worked with the board and Jackie to eliminate the road reverter from my lot, which is in the blue where Jackie has her hand, so that 25-foot flagpole of my lot no longer has the road reverter over top of it. And we're looking to do away with the rest of it by finalizing these covenant amendments. The reason being is the road reverter is no longer needed. The town purchased the property to where Jackie has her hand to the west of our properties and combined it with the Red Creek Park, and it's now open space and will be in perpetuity. So any future need to extend Squires Boulevard has been abandoned simply by the town purchasing that property. And therefore, the encumbersomeness of this road reverter over my neighbor's property can now hopefully be straightened up so we can create a more comprehensive open space connection. So that plan that Jackie has up right now, Jackie, if you can zoom in just a little bit, you'll be able to see that there's currently a trail easement where her hand is along the west side of the property, and that trail easement connects to the town's open space. And what we're doing is take the section of the lot that has a road reverter on it, and by abandoning the road reverter, it'll allow us to shift the 25-foot buffer that is along the south portion of the property, and now combine it with the neighboring. So you have one solid band of open space between all of the properties. And the reason that that's important is because we do have a lot of wildlife here, and it creates corridors for them to be able to travel unimpeded as they wish. So we think it's a good alternative to shift this buffer. When we abandon the road reverter, we have to shift the buffer so that there's not a blank space between the previous buffer and the neighboring property to the south. But it also allows us to be able to construct a driveway. So if you see that we've drawn in where the proposed driveway would come in off of the flagpole and enter into where the proposed house is going to be constructed. Without abandoning this road reverter and shifting this buffer, there would be no way for him to access the development of the property. So we think it all just makes sense. The road reverter needs to be gone because there's no potential for future access to that neighboring property. And the buffer shifting to the south and expanding also, we're expanding it from 25 feet to 35 feet. It promotes more open space connectivity throughout this area of this old subdivision.
It certainly makes sense. Was that road reverter, it was just proposed, right? Or was it installed?
No, it was never installed.
Yeah.
And that's why when I came to you in 2018, it just made sense because there was never anything executed by the town or the previous developer to put that road into fruition, because the subdivision that was anticipated to the west is no longer ever going to be developed because the town purchased the property.
That's it. Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board? Are there any hands raised, Anthony? Charles?
No hands.
No hands. No hands, no questions. Okay. Can I have a motion to Dennis to close with a 30-day written comment period? Motion by Dennis, second by Robin, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 5 in favor, 2 absent. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
You. Moving on to number 4, Mill Creek Heights, also known as Sag Harbor Woods. Jackie, that's you.
We have proper notice, Madam.
We do. Thank you. Jackie, you want to read this into the record?
Yes, I just also wanted to let Guy Germano into the public hearing.
Okay, he's in.
Thank you.
Billy Germano.
Billy, yeah, sorry, Billy Germano, sorry. Notice of a public hearing. Please take notice that in accordance with the governor's executive order number 202.1, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, January 14th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the covenant amendment application filed with the subdivision entitled Mill Creek Heights, aka Sag Harbor Woods. The applicant's request is to terminate the previously filed covenants and restrictions which required a homeowners association shall be formed by the declarant prior to signature of the final plat. The associated address for the covenant amendment is 33260 Noyak Road, Hamlet of Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-14-1-39.12. A transcript of said hearing, and then in the event of cancellation of this meeting, this application without further notice will be heard at the next planning board meeting. Jackie LaFaro, chairperson, by order of the planning board of the town of Southampton. Philip Keith, secretary.
Okay, thanks. Welcome. Can you give us your name for the record, please?
Good evening, William Germano of Germano and Cahill, 4250 Veterans Highway, Holbrook, New York.
And just a brief description of your project.
Yes. On January 23rd, 2020, this board recommended town board acceptance of a previous 2,100 square foot HOA parcel as open space. Subsequently, we obtained approval from the Attorney General to essentially dissolve the HOA as of July 16th, 2020. In connection with the goal to deed the property as open space to the town, we need to remove the covenant requiring the formation of the HOA that was filed with the Suffolk County Clerk on October 12, 2018, because it's encumbering the lots being sold to the homeowners of the subdivision. And because those covenants are no longer required because of the deed of the open space to the town, we are requesting that the covenant be discharged.
Makes sense.
Okay. Are there any comments from the board? Any discussion? Anyone from the public? Charles?
I see no hands.
No hands. Okay, given that, and I have a motion to close with a 30-day written comment period.
Motion.
Motion by Gloria, second by
Second.
Robin, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, 5 in favor, 2 absent. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Gloria and second by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 5 in favor, 2 absent. We are adjourned.
In 2 weeks.
Everybody.
See you in 2 weeks.
Be safe.
Thank
Be
you,
safe.
everyone.
Be safe.
See you in 2
Careful.
weeks, and there's no evening session on the 28th, okay?